Today I'm going to be filming a video where I talk about the top 5 books on my TBR that I am terrified to read for whatever reason. Wow. I am proud to say that I am not overly intimidated by my TBR, or for the majority of the books on my TBR, but there are a few books that stand out that I am just terrified to read, and so I keep pushing them off, not wanting to read them because I'm scared I'm not gonna like them. It's a lot, because obviously when you buy books you want to love them and you hope that you love them, but you don't always love them, and it's super disappointing when you read a book you're super excited for and you end up not loving it. But I hope that I love all these books, but I do just want to discuss with you guys the books that I'm scared to read and why I'm scared to read them. So the first book I'm going to be talking about is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Oh boy, this book is so beloved on BookTube, and I purely bought it because of the hype and everybody talking about it. It was on sale at Walmart, so I succumbed to the hype. I succumbed to the pressure to purchase this book. So I felt like it was one of those books that you just need to read. Everybody says it will change your life. It'll be your favorite book. And I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know if anything can beat Wonder. Like, come on. But everyone just talks about this book and how much they love it and how much it's changed their life. And I want to experience that. But there's a few things about this book that scare me. One, that hype previously mentioned. I'm scared that because of all the hype and because of people saying this book's so life-changing and so amazing, that because of that, I'm going to go in with too high expectations and they're going to fall short. And I'm also terrified because this is not my typical genre that I like to read or enjoy. It's historical fiction, taking place during World War II, I believe. And that's really not what I enjoy reading about. I think the last time I read a book even similar to this was Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. And I did love that book, but I was also 10 and it was required reading. So, I don't know. These aren't the books that I typically reach for. It's just not a time in history that I'm particularly interested in reading about. But I still want to give this book a chance because the concept of it being told by death is really intriguing to me. And everyone loves this book. Like, I think I've only seen a few people on BookTube, at least that I've encountered, who don't like this book or didn't love it as much as everybody else. And so I just feel like I have to read this book and I have to love it, and so I'm super scared to read it, and I've owned it for a couple years now, and I keep putting it off. That's the first book that I'm terrified to read. The next couple of books are all by the same author, so I've grouped them together as one book, and I also didn't grab them all because like they're super heavy. But the last 3 books in the Donna Glass series, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash, I am so terrified to finish reading this series because I'm currently rereading them. I've read up to Queen of Shadows, so I haven't yet read this book. And me and Peyton are doing the Mass-along currently. We're super behind, but we're doing it. And I'm currently rereading Queen of Shadows. And I remember being so invested in this series right from the get-go. Like, I was obsessed. The only book I wasn't obsessed with was Heir of Fire, but I still loved it. And I'm just not feeling that way this time around, so I'm really nervous that I'm not going to re-fall in love with this series at any point, and I will have owned all of these books for no reason, would have wasted all this money for no reason, and I will have to unhaul them. I don't want to unhaul these books because I did love them at one point, so I'd like to continue to love them, but for some reason I'm just not connecting with it in the same way, and I don't know why. I think it's because they're so long and it's high fantasy, which again is not my typical genre. Like, I enjoy it from time to time, but my brain needs to be really focused on it, otherwise my mind wanders and then I have no idea what's happening. Who are these characters? I don't know. So it's really difficult for me to get into a series like these. I'm super terrified that I'm going to end up finishing this series and not loving it and feeling compelled to unhaul the books. Because one, they're huge. They take up a whack load of space. And I don't know. I'm super nervous to continue reading these books for fear that I'm not going to enjoy them. The next one obviously is another Sarah J. Maas book. I'm sure you can assume what it is. It's A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. So this is the third and final book in the Akhtar trilogy. I know she's coming up with like another trilogy, but I'm pretty sure it follows different characters in these ones, so they're not like in the same series. I don't really know what's happening. I don't know if I'll read past this book, but anyways, I absolutely adored Akhtar. I really enjoyed Akmath. So I'm just really nervous for this one. This is the same thing. Like, I love the first two books, so I'm scared that I'm going to reread those and not like them as much, and then not enjoy this one. Also, like I said, high fantasy, it takes a lot for me to enjoy a high fantasy. It takes a lot for me to get into the mood to read a high fantasy. So overall, with both of these, it's the genre, it's the fear of not going to enjoy them and having to unhaul them, even though they're beautiful and they, you know, have been part of my collection for so long now, and I'm having a lot of issues and inner turmoil with these books and with Sarah J. Maas, and what a plot twist. So, and the next book is Children of Blood and Bone by Thome Adeyemi. Ugh. So this again is another high fantasy. You will see a theme. Most of these books are high fantasy or of a genre I am uncomfortable with. This book got so much hype when it first came out, I believe early last year, and everyone loved it. But since then, some mixed reviews have come out about this book. So that's one of the reasons, is because of the hype. It's almost like it's been put on a pedestal where you just expect the best from it. Like, I already feel like I love this book and I haven't even read it yet. And so with that expectation going into it, I'm worried that it's going to fall short because of that, and I'm just not going to enjoy it because of all of those reasons. But again, like I said, high fantasy, I need to be in the right mood for it, so I'm hoping by the end of the year I'll read it. But I'm just super hecka nervous to read this book because I love Thome Adeyemi. I love her like story and her internet presence. I absolutely love her. So I'm nervous that I'm not gonna like the book, and I'm really hoping that I do because it's so beautiful. I want to own it. I want to love it. I want to rave about it. So I'm just super nervous that I'm not going to, but here's hoping that I do. Hopefully, like I said, I'll read it later this year before book 2, and you guys will know all my thoughts, but I'm hoping that I love it. Okay, continuing the theme of high fantasy, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So not only am I scared of this because of its genre being high fantasy or because of all of the hype that this book gets, but also because a lot of my friends love it, and I always hate reading my friends' favorite books and not liking them or scared of not liking them, because obviously when you're friends with people you want to like the same things they like and you want to be able to talk about them. I know it's heartbreaking when my friends read books that I love and they don't love them as much. Cough cough. Peyton with Dumpling and Julia with Again But Better. It hurts, guys. It hurts right here. It scars. It does. It really does. I know that John loves this book. I'm pretty sure Peyton loves this book. Like, everybody and their mother loves this book. I've heard very few negative things about this duology, and so I'm just super nervous to get to it. You know, I'm just also super intimidated because it's pretty large, and again, high fantasy. It's just so scary. How do you guys do this? I don't know how this is Peyton's favorite genre and how she reads it all the time. It takes so much brain power that I just never have. So much energy, so much attention needed, and I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. Okay, the final book on this list has a bit of a different reason to the other ones, and that is The Reckoning of Noah Shaw by Michelle Hodkin. This is the second book in the Noah Shaw Confessions, which is the spin-off series to the Mara Dyer trilogy. Here's the story with this one. I absolutely adore the Mara Dyer trilogy. The Retribution of Mara Dyer isn't the best, but I still overall enjoy it as a part of the series. I didn't have any bad feelings toward the series after finishing it. And then I picked up The Becoming of Noah Shaw, and it was so disappointing. I talked about it in a wrap-up last year, but I picked it up immediately after rereading The Retribution of Mara Dyer, and so I could instantly pick up on everything that felt wrong. The characters felt wrong, the way they interacted with each other felt wrong, the way the book starts off is really weird, and just so many things happened that I couldn't imagine the characters actually doing, and everything was falling apart and didn't feel like the story and characters that I loved anymore, and so it was super disappointing, and I'm pretty sure nobody, or at least most people, don't enjoy that book. But I decided to get the sequel anyways because I want to continue, and I'm hoping that it was just a bad first book and this one will get better. But I don't know. I don't want her to ruin my characters further because already I really didn't like Noah or Mara in this first book, and I'm really scared that I'm not gonna like this one either, and then I will have to unhaul them, and they're so beautiful next to the Mara Dyer trilogy. Also, this one's signed, and I'm so nervous, and the last book comes out this year, I'm pretty sure, and sometimes it's a good thing when authors decide to continue a series or do a spin-off series, and sometimes it just should have been left alone. You know, like, I feel like when an author is away from characters for a long time and then they decide to return to it, they can't capture the character's voice in the same way or who they are in the same way because they're so distant from them. I've experienced this quite a few times with books like these and situations like these, and this is definitely the one that annoys me the most because I love Noah Shaw so much and Mara Dyer, and I just felt like they weren't the same people in the Becoming a Noah Shaw, so I'm super nervous to read this one. I hope it's better than Becoming a Noah Shaw, but maybe it's worse, or maybe it's just on par and it's the same. I hope it's better. Like, I hope it's one of those series that just gets better with each book, but I honestly don't have high hopes. So those were all of the TBR books that I'm scared to read, or at least the ones that I wanted to share with you today, the ones that I'm most scared to read. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below what are some books on your TBR that you are terrified to read. I'd really love to discuss that with you. Subscribe if you have not yet already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!